Welcome to Qigong Live Online this afternoon on a Thursday afternoon here in Bali. Roll back. Enlightenment. Gong. Very good. So we're talking about this idea of cross. So when we do, there's a few exercises that do this. So anytime, there's some classic ones we do, the crossover exercise, which we know, which are exercises when we're doing these exercises from Zhang Gong, when we're doing right left and we're doing right left. I'm just showing you this exercise where we've got the opposite hand facing the opposite leg, and we change over and go opposite hand, opposite leg. So what this does is change the dynamic of the leg. So when we normally walk as a human, we walk with that foot and this hand. We walk like this, and they're connected to each other. That's why the yin hand and the yang hand, yin hand are connected to the feet. Yeah. But you don't normally see somebody walking like this. I have seen somebody do that, but that's a very different thing. So our coordination through is that. So if you change that dynamic, that coordination of your body parts and your mind now is to having to access different parts of the mind that it's not used to. And you'll notice in Qigong exercise, there's lots of times where you have these exercises where this is from the long life system, where you come down and it teaches you to do the crossovers, yeah, and coming down. Sage Present Peach is another one. I'm just using the example because I don't want to practice these, but I just want to show you where you're going across the body. Yep, you're going that way, and the arm's coming from the opposite side, so you're using one side to get to the other side. Now, if you've ever done, I've got a whole series, I've got a course on dyslexia and exercise, and some of them come out of Brain Gym, which is a particular system of doing exercise that help you, and you do the touching your foot on the back foot. Whoops, go that way, that way. That way. And what it does is help to do the crossovers from one side of the body to the other side, and it activates one side of your mind with the other side of the mind, which is really understandable. And so people with dyslexia, it teaches your brain to communicate with both sides of the brain, because quite often dyslexia, it's not communicating, and certain parts of it aren't talking to the other part. And these exercises just help your body to do that. They're fantastic, and they made a huge difference in my life. So I made a course of them and I put them up there. I'm not trying to publicise the course, I'm just saying that they're to do with what I'm talking about today. This idea of having the brain think differently than it normally does, instead of walking this way. And so if we're going to move, if we do exercise where we're going from side to side, yep. And I'm just going to use one arm to do this. Now this is, we can put the other on the hip if you like. This is like half of cloud hands. Now all of people have done Shiva, sure. This is cloud hands. It's also in part of the Taiji forms as well, yeah. And what we do is we're going one side, but see, the hands are going the same way the body's going. So that's really easy for the body to work out. Hand, body, hand, body. So we'll get this idea, we'll do this together, and then we'll get used to doing this. And then we're going to change it. So the hands and the body are in synchronicity with each other. They're synchronized. So this is relatively easy for the body to do, because it knows how to do this. If one goes one way, the other goes the same way. Yeah. In this case, we're also rotating the hips. So we're going across and we're rotating. We go across and rotating. So it's all going the same way. Yep. And so this is useful. So as I say, this is what we train. So of course, the opposite is when it's going the opposite way than your body's going. So then the hands go that way, they go this way, and then it goes that way, we go this way. Now this is going to take you a little while to get used to this. It goes that way, so it goes, my body's going the opposite direction the hands are going. Opposite direction the hands are going. This should feel really weird, because it's not what we normally do. And so your mind's trying to work out how to do this for a start, which is a good thing, because you're training your mind a different pathway. So you're going opposite direction, the hands go the other way. Opposite direction, the hands go this way. And so it changes and it creates new neuro pathways in your mind about doing something totally different. Now, you might have already done some exercise in your life that actually does this, that your body already knows it. And I don't know, there could be dancing, there could be a certain dance that does this, there could be some, I don't know what else would do it, I'm not quite sure. Because Taiji form's not done this way. Good. And just stop there. So the body knows, and you go back to doing it the other way, which you really know, you go, and the body goes, ah, easy. I don't have to think about this, it's really simple, it's going the same way as the body's going. And because it knows it well, it just completely flips back into that mode of I know this, and I'm connected to the same way I'm going, the same way the hands are going. And then you change that, and you go the same way, and you go the other way, and goes the other way. And then goes the other way. Whoops. I've got to get the other one going. Now I've got to do it myself. I need to change my dyslexia. That way. This way. I have to think about it. There you go. Going the opposite way my hands are. Now, of course, I've done this before, so I'm a little bit of ahead because I actually know how to do this. But it's still not easy because it's not the normal way I do it. But because I've already practiced it before, I have some sort of memory of how to do this. Ever so funny that it feels. I'm going the opposite direction, so pathways, change pathways. Change pathways. Change pathways. Now we do an exercise in the monastery school, of course, for the people who do the monastery exercise that does a very similar thing to this, which is against what we normally do. And it teaches you the same idea about creating different pathways in your mind that you're normally not used to. It's making you do something different. And so the whole idea is creating a new pathway, new pattern, new ideas, new thoughts. Cool. So the same thing would be if we do wax on, wax off. We use that idea. You go to the side, wax on. Go to the other side, wax off. Go to the other side, wax on. Go to the other side, wax off. And I'm just using this example because it's from they use that in Karate Kid to understand the principle. Go to the side, wax on. So I'm going the same side doing the circles, same side doing the circles, same side doing the circles, same side doing the circles. Now we're going to try and change this. Now I've never done this before, so I'm going to have just as much interest because I'm dyslexic anyway, and I'm going to try and do this the opposite way. So I'm going to start from there. My body's going to go that way. I'm going to go this way. Yep. Yeah, like that. Well, here I've got to think about even how to get there going. So I'm going circles and I'm going the opposite way. Circles and I'm going the opposite way. Circles and I'm going the opposite way. There you go. So I'm creating new pathways that I've never created before because I don't think I've ever done this before. This feels unbelievably weird because I've never actually taught myself to do that. So you and I are learning something, unless you've already done this, you're learning something to do something that I haven't done. So then we just create pathways, and if you keep doing this, of course this way, and then it becomes easier and easier. Yeah? Because we just get used to doing something else, and we teach our body how to do it, but initially you don't know how to do it. So this change up of these pathways keeps our mind really active, and it keeps growing the neuroplasticity. It keeps growing the chances that we can do something else. Yep, good. Just let that go there, so your mind's going, yes. So I'm going to give you another one to understand that. So when we normally do our circles, yep, and we do the pendulum rotation. Now normally we go across, and we turn, and we go across, and we turn. So we go forward, and then we retreat. We go forward, and then retreat. So we go forward, and then we pull a hip back, which turns us back. We go forward, and then we pull the other hip back, and then we go around. Forward, pull the hip back. Now we do this lots in practice, so it's very easy to do. Yep. Go forward and pull a hip back. But of course there's another way you can do this, is you go backwards and then turn. Backwards and then turn. Backwards and then turn. So now their mind has to know, it goes, there's two ways of doing this. And I think this idea that there's more than one way to do the same thing is such a useful thing. Turn. Go backwards and turn. And I think it helps our mind to keep developing. Our mind doesn't ever get stuck and just say, well, this is it. It constantly sees that there's other ways. It constantly keeps learning. It constantly keeps growing. It keeps constantly adding new experiences to itself. And so life's never boring, to say the least. So we're going the other way. Come back and then turn. These are just some of the things that happen inside that exercise, yeah? Good. Turning back. Good. So in the monastery exercises, which I normally won't teach, but I'll show you because you guys, I think, have all done it. You can all do them. The exercise when we're using seaweed exercise when we're going forward. Now, normally if I go forward and backwards, the hands go with the body. Yeah, it looks like this. And so I'll do it side on side, so it's make it easy for you. You can see the movement. So the body's going forward, hands going forward. Forward for the body, back with the body. Forward with the body, back with the body. So this would be normal because the hands are used to going forward as it goes forward, backwards as it goes backwards. So it's easy to keep that connection in our body because it's easy because we everything's going the same direction until you start doing the opposite way, which is you go backwards and goes forward, and you go backwards and goes forwards this way. Now I'm going the opposite direction. And this is good for your mind. This is good to create all these different pathways of possibility. But it activates your mind instead of it having been set in one path. Now it's just got all these different options, but it's opening up different pathways in your brain because they've never done this before and your brain's trying to work out how to do this. And be okay if it's awkward and be okay if it's a bit clunky because you haven't practiced it. But by doing this, you're creating pathways in your mind that are new pathways, like writing new programs in your head, new programs in your computer to do something differently. Yeah. Good. Perfect. Now, after doing all these things like this, you can get quite tired because remember the brain's working overtime trying to work something else it's never done unless you've done this before. And there could be some exercise you've done in some life that you've done before, or some physical practice where you actually know how to do this, or this is the first time you've ever gone back to front, and then it's completely chaos inside your head right now. Now, when we do that warm-up exercise, there's a couple in the warm-up exercise. This is one of them. So when we do our elbows, when we're doing our knees, I'm going to say side on so you can see this. So when we do our knees, we can do this way. So see the arms are going forward when they go forward, and the arms are going back when they go back. I'll just have a quick check to see what that looks like. Yeah, like that. There you go. Forward with the forward, back with the back. And so this is somewhere you can do this. And so our body knows this because we've done this before. Yep. In whichever way we've done it in dancing, whatever we've done this from. But then we can also do it the other way, which is this one, where we're going forward and backwards. That one. yeah, that one. Now you might have done this in a dance. There's dancers that do this way as well. So you might have done this in some other way, but then you know this one too, or not. And this one will feel really strange. But anyway, how we're doing it, your mind's at the moment is going, okay, that's really confusing. So what happens when your mind gets confused? You know what it does? It just likes to shut off. It's like a computer. If you get too many programs running at once and your processor can't deal with all this information, it just goes bleh, and you get the blue screen. Well, you actually don't get blue screens anymore, do you? You just get it freezes on you. The screen just stops and nothing's happening. Your mouse doesn't work anymore. The old days when I date myself back. So if you're as young as I am, you'll remember the blue screen days when you just get the blue screen. We don't usually get it because we don't run DOS anymore. So we get that idea of the blue screen, and so it just glitches. It glitches in the matrix and gets really difficult. And I know, being dyslexic, if I get overloaded in my mind just wants to switch off. If I read something really technically difficult, I only read 3 lines and my mind's trying to go to sleep and it'll fall asleep. Because it's really difficult to keep it going, and my mind's going, no, too much information, and you go, just basically shuts it down. But I watch myself doing that, so that's what if I ever have trouble with insomnia, I just got to read a traditional Chinese medicine diagnostic book or something with all the traditional Chinese medicine saying. I just read that for a little while and just go, oh. So it's the same thing, so the overload, but when you train your mind to be alert and you train with all these possibilities, like we did with all this exercise, what we've just been doing before, all these possibilities, we're keeping all our brain and our pathways open, and it's communicating with itself, and it's good for your brain. So this is like the exercises for your brain. At the same time you're exercising your body, even if you're only doing the one exercise, it's still exercising your body. But as soon as you start thinking differently, it feels different, and that's the part that I really like, is it's the experience of the difference you feel in the body just by changing your mind. Change your mind, body feels different. Totally different than what it did before, but except I'm doing exactly the same exercise. And I think there's something really beautiful inside that. And the part of that, which I mentioned before, which I'll go back to, is that what we see and what we think we see could be something else as well, because we know we can be doing something, and people say, oh, you're doing it from your hips, and you go, no, I'm actually using my shoulders. And so I think that opens the door. I've been wary saying that you think you can see what it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe everything we think that what it really is, maybe it's something else. I think that's a great thing. It's a great way to have this open mind to possibilities. Endless possibilities, not say that this is the only way. And I think there's a freedom that comes with that. We don't define ourselves by what we know. We define ourselves by what we're learning, or what the new experiences are. Not what we know, because what we know might not be true anyway. So something like that. Good, I want to keep going though. We'll stay on this thing. So I don't know how your mind's going. Hopefully it's okay. We're going to keep doing some more exercises from this. So we're going to do the rotation one again. We'll go back to that one because we started with that one. Yeah, and the hands go the same way. Yep, same way as we're turning. And we're going to do a different one again. Now I'm not quite sure how we're going to create this, because I don't think I've done this one either. I can't tell you whether I've done it or not until I started, and then I'll tell you if my cellular memory in my body knows it or not until I do it. So some of them I already know that I've done, but this next one I have no idea whether I've done this before. I'm not even sure how to start it up. So at the moment we're turning the arms are going the same way. They go in the same direction as I'm turning the arms going that way. And we're going to attempt to go the opposite way. As I say, I'm not even sure how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to turn that way, and the arm's going to go the other way. Yeah, there you go. Oh, that feels outrageously weird. Now my hips are turning the opposite direction, and my arms are going. Oh, good luck. I remember doing this. This is in an exercise somewhere. I have done this before, and I don't know what it is part of. And you might remember what it feels like. But my hips going the opposite way to my arms. Maybe if I look at it and see what I'm doing. No, it doesn't. By watching, I can't pick it up. But I know I've done this before. Yeah, that's weird. Somebody can help me out if they've ever done this one before. Oh, that's fantastic. I have done it, but I don't know when, because it's not new. It feels weird, but it's not new. Yeah, I don't know. Anybody after class, when we finish this class, you can tell me if you know when you've done this exercise before. It could be a part of a dance, could be a tango. I don't tango, but I've done this before, but I cannot remember when. Oh, gee. My memory's trying to have flashbacks of when it was. It's something like that. Hang on, I think I can just about remember what it is. Oh, there's an exercise I do, same arm, same. Oh, gee, I'm just trying to remember how it goes. Oh, it's a crisscross, it goes this way. There you go, I know when it was. So there's an exercise, I can show you the exercise. So it's an exercise from Chen style Tai Chi. It's a warm-up exercise where you do, actually did it come from there? No, it actually come from the monastery. It's a monastery exercise. It's one of the warm-up exercises from the monastery school. So there you go. So you start with your leg up and you have the opposite hand, same leg, same arm, and you swap over the arms and you go to the opposite leg and you bring, I'll show you with the knees. Just fan it a bit, Sam. Just fan out. That's it, good. So when I bring the knee, I need the knee forward. Same arm, same hand, hands on my chest. And then I swap over and I bring up the other knee and the other leg. I'll come to the side so I can see that a bit better. It goes there. Knee goes forward. But the knee that's forward, the same side, same hand, same knee, opposite hands crisscrossed. There. Now there's the same feeling of this, of the turning of the hips when the arms are going the opposite direction. Because this leg's coming forward, but my hand's going the opposite direction. The other hand's going there. It feels similar to this. Now this is a crossover exercise too, by the way. This is from the monastery. This is a really good exercise for generating power in the body. I don't do this very often. I used to do this in New Zealand when it's cold. If you're cold, you do this exercise because it warms you up. It starts to generate lots of power through your body. So all you're doing is bringing your knee forward, hand, knee forward, hand. And we go nice and slow now so you can see how I'm doing that. Let's come back around the front so I can. Knee forward, hand. Yeah, like that. And it's going to crossover, so you're doing that hand to this side and this knee. So this hand's connecting to this side of the body and then this connects to the other side of the body. It's not something you'd normally do either. You might have trouble with this one as well if you've never done this before. But I have done this one, so this one's easy. But it's a little bit like the other one. So how this exercise works, we might as well keep doing this, and we're doing this exercise. And if you're in a cold climate. So how you do that is what you do is you just start speeding it up slightly. And my heels are going up and down on the ground. I don't think you can see my heels. So as I go up, my heels are going up and down. The heels are coming off the ground. Like that. They're coming up and down, they're going up and down. Like that. Good. Okay. So here we go. I see you'll warm me up all around the world. So just go a bit faster. Gee, I should get Sam doing this one. Sam, I think you should be doing this exercise, mate. I want to see you do this exercise. Good. And then start speeding it up. Good, he's doing really well. Good, and then speed it up again. This is how you get warm. And then speed it up a bit more. He's cracking up. There you go. And you feel how hot you are right now. It generates lots of power, but it's a great crossover exercise. And you notice the faster you go, the less more uncoordinated your body starts to get out of sync with it, because the mind's having to think flat out how to coordinate the exercise and move opposite leg, opposite hand at the same time. There you go. Go. We'll need to sleep after this. Our brains are just going to go. And some of you are starting your day, so it's going to be a tough day today. Actually, either that or your mind's energized because you're at the beginning of your day, so it'll be fine. So this is one of the practices, and that's why we practice the Taiji and why we practice the Qigong. It's not just the physical practice. We always say there's a mental practice of the exercise, and there's a spiritual practice of the exercise, and there's a physical practice. We know the physical practice is about moving our physical body. We know that's pretty obvious what that is. And we talk about the spiritual practice about connecting this physical body to things outside of yourself, so that you know we're part of something else. The mental one, normally we talk about our intention, training our mind to move energy up through our body, and an idea that energy coming out of the hands, and we're training our mind to project energy inside our body as we're moving. But now what we're doing is we're also training our mind to open up different pathways to connect with right and left hemispheres as the arms are going opposite sides of the body, or whichever, or we're going the opposite ways than we normally go, and creating all these pathways, energetic pathways inside the body and the mind to connect with something that we've never done. And so we're constantly creating new ideas, and then we go back to doing it the way we like to do it. And this goes back to being really simple again. And then we change it and go the other way. Yeah, we start doing the circle going forward, doing the figure eight. We do the figure eight one way. Whoops, do the figure eight that way. going forward and rotating, going forward, rotating. And then we go backwards, rotate. Oops. Backwards, rotate. Backwards, rotate. Backwards, rotate. So all of this exercises our connection inside our body with our mind and our physical being. But it's opening up all these different pathways of connection to ourselves, which is very, very cool. And of course, we can open up our pathways in our mind to connect outside of ourselves as soon as you give it an outside concept to do that. Explanation. Tuesday class, easy. We do use a wave. So if I use the idea of a wave is coming towards me, and as I go back, the wave pushes me back, and then as the wave goes back out, and goes back out again, back to the sea, I go back out with it. And the wave pushes me in, and the wave pushes me back. So now I have an external source that's driving the exercise. It's not even happening in my body anymore. It's not a knee or a shoulder thing. It's happening as my idea, the concept of the waves pushing me back, and then the wave sucks me back out again as it goes out. Push me back and goes out. So now you have an external source doing the exercise. We did it before when we did the rotation with our head string. Pushes you back. Good. And you can change the concept of that one easy as well, like we did the other day, is when the wave's coming in, you're pushing against the wave. So as I go forward, I'm pushing against the wave, and then I'm pushing against the wave at the back. The wave's coming towards me and I'm pushing it forward, so I'm doing the opposite of the other one. So instead of going with the wave, I'm pushing against the wave. And it feels different in your body, even though the arms, everything's the same. So these are external ones, and you call them spiritual practice because it's taught to do, because remember the heaven is outside of ourselves. We stand in heaven. For people who watch this video after you've heard me say this before, the earth we stand on, the inner earth we stand on is the ground. Everything above the ground is yang. Yep, this is heaven and earth. Heaven's not way up there in the cloud somewhere. Heaven, we stand in it. We stand in earth, in the yang, which is the heaven, but we stand with our feet on the earth. So we're moving. So when we get outside concepts, we are moving. Heaven's moving, energies moving us, our physical body with our mind, the idea of our mind. So we've been directed by heaven as such to do things from external source. It's like the wind, the idea if I stood there and I feel the wind blowing me back, and then the wind sucking me forward, the wind blowing me back. And always it's a different feeling than it is with the waves. We know what the wave feels like because we all stood in water one day we'll just say all. Most of us have stood in the waves and we felt the wave push you, and then you feel the wave go out. We've all felt the wind push you. Well, we might not have. I shouldn't say all. Most of us felt the wind, and the wind pushing you, and then wind pushing from behind, and then wind pushing you forward from the front, then wind pushing you from the behind. And all you're doing is changing the concept of what heaven is, the power or the essence of the energy of heaven, and having a totally different experience from exactly the same thing, just changing your mind, not only a physical experience, now we're having an external experience of the same exercise, and it feels different. Welcome to Qigong. Isn't it complex? So every time we do a Qigong exercise, there's all of these components that go in every single exercise. There's all these different aspects of the same exercise going on, depending on how you think. It looks like wave hands over the lake, easiest exercise in the world. It's probably one of the most complex exercises we do. As simple as it looks, because you think you're just lifting your arms, there is a whole lot, because you can lift those arms up and bring them down 20, there'd be more than 20 different ways you can lift those arms up, and 20 different ways you can take them down, just by changing your mind about how you think you're doing that. And so that opens up this whole gamut of understanding of the exercise of what's really going on. It's so very good. And I just thought of one for Mark. When I used to do the Tai Chi forms with my teacher, and once we learned the form, of course, which took years, and then he'd focus on doing the form, the whole form that day. He said, okay, do the form just using your head string. And so then you had to do the form, and everything was focused on your head string. And just thinking about your head string the whole time, and you were thinking head string, head string, head string. Next time we say, okay, do the form, just focus on your knees. And you focus on where your placement of your knees, you focus on bending your knees, straightening your knees, bending your knees. Focus on just your feet placement, and you focus the whole form just doing the feet, nothing else. Just bringing our attention to one thing out of the whole body movement, and we practice the whole thing just for that. Practice watching your breath through the whole practice of the form, and you just watch the breath, nothing else. So all of these are useful, but there's just so many of them that you can spend a long time practicing all these different aspects of the same thing and having a different experience every time you do it. Every time you do this exercise, you can have a different experience if the energy is initiated from somewhere different. Yep. Anyway, there you go. Just a thought for the day. Anyway, useful. Oh, tell me if anybody wants to tell me at the end of the class about how. Well, I've got to do it again now this way. I've got to do the X, which one we were doing was really weird. When I was going the opposite direction, that I couldn't even remember I can't remember which one it was. That feels strange. Anyway. No, it was the tuning. It was this one, wasn't it? It was this one tuning, and then don't turn the hips that way, turn the hips the opposite way. That way. Yeah, look, I got it back again straight away. That feeling. Could be skiing. It might even be a skiing thing. It could be I don't know. It's something does that. Something exercise I do does that. It might be skiing. Anyway, if anybody can tell me what that reminds them of, let me know after the class. Please let me know. I'll stay on and you can tell me, go into your speaker and let me know. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody, with that. Don't you love Qigong? It's just the endless understanding of the same thing. I love the fact I don't think you could ever understand all of it. I like that. Where does it stop? Go. Bring your hands forward, bring your hands down. Bow to each other and everybody that comes to the class or comes and does this class, whenever they do this class in the future. And I hope that confuses them just as much as it confused me.